Well, thank you so much for inviting me here. I'm also, along with Afzal, on the front bench. I'm the Shadow Minister for Business and International Trade. And I was really pleased to see that there was a discussion in one of the workshops being had about the impact on the rest of the world, on the developing world, of climate change. And absolutely, we have to tackle the climate emergency, both to give hope to people here in the green jobs it can bring, to transform our communities, but also to avoid the damage. And it is an issue of race as well, isn't it? Because those people in the developing world most at risk from rising sea levels, from famine, from the damage being done from excess heat, those people are the poorest, and those people are from parts of the world and from communities across the world where they are disadvantaged on grounds of race, and that is historically the way things have been. We should remember the link there. So I'm really pleased that was happening with my front bench duties in mind. But look, I just want to say a few things about my family history. My father's family, his grandparents, came to this country in the early years of the 20th century from Eastern Europe. They escaped because my great-grandmother was a runner for the Mensheviks, and the Tsar's secret police were chasing them. They decided to leave before things became really bad. That part of the family came here. They had many, many relatives who stayed. They lived in villages in Eastern Europe that no longer exist. We have no idea how many of our relatives died in the Holocaust. It is a story familiar to many people with Jewish ancestry. It is, of course, a story familiar to many people with multiple ancestries. It is the story of Holocaust. It is the story of genocide. So every year when I'm at Southport Holocaust Memorial Day at Christchurch in Lord Street, I am proud to share the commemoration with the rabbi, with the vicar of the church, but also now increasingly with the imam. It is a multi-faith, it is a commemoration of all faiths and of none, and it is right that we commemorate what happened to so many, whether my family or otherwise. And I am proud of the fact that my granddad was at Cable Street. He used to tell the story, he used to show me the scar on his toe, which was broken by a police horse stamping on it. He was very proud of the role he played with other trade unionists, with other socialists and communists, with members of the Jewish community, with members of the Irish community as well. And we stood up to fascism in the 30s in this country, and now we stand up to them again. And it is a fight that is never over. It is a fight that continues. The defeat. I want to thank you all for the part you played in defeating Yaxley Lennon. I won't use that other name. Exactly. Let's call him by the name that we should, please. I am grateful to you all for the part you played in defeating his election campaign. I'm really, the story that some of you will have seen is of when he brought his caravan of hate to Bootle, and he was there, and the local community, the labour and trade union movement were there to face him in big numbers. And his sidekick, the equally appalling James Goddard, was chased up a tree by two local Bootle women. People in the Liverpool City region say no to fascism, and they know how to. My God, they do, don't they? And it's true in Manchester as well. So across the northwest, we've defeated him. But look, just very quickly, he is one very obvious end of the spectrum, as Anna has already said. Be under no illusion, though. Whether they are making racist comments or whether there is something far worse in what they are saying, they are all part of that same spectrum. And I don't believe for 1 minute, if it didn't suit their aims, they wouldn't go further than they already have. We know who we're talking about. I don't need to go into great detail. So we fight, and we fight again, whether it's on the streets against Yaxley Lennon or taking the fight to them in the media and more widely in our communities against the likes of Johnson, Farage. And let's not forget Jeremy Hunt, who refused the opportunity to condemn what that evil racist Donald Trump said about the Mayor of London, Sadiq Khan. The Islamophobic attacks of him and his friends should not be ignored either. And when Johnson is clearly working with Bannon, who has links to white supremacists, who has links to the far right across Europe, be in no doubt that he is capable of the same as well, and that is what we face. So continue the fight, friends. Continue to take them on. Continue to defeat them. But we need to offer hope as well, and that is why it is vital that we get into government at the earliest opportunity, the kind of Labour programme of hope that offers people the opportunities that decarbonising the economy can bring, the opportunity of better jobs, the opportunity to reinvest in our National Health Service and our other public services, the opportunity to reinvigorate communities that have seen decline for decades, not just a small number of years. Those are the answers. Fight them where we need to fight them. Offer hope where we need to hope. And it is that dual approach that has always triumphed, has always seen the way forward. It worked when we beat fascism before. It worked when we rebuilt Britain in the 1940s and 50s. And it will work again. Thank you all so much.